गिरिधारी शिशि राधा विनोद बिहारी जू की जाय। श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन जू की जाय। नित्य प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अश्वत रचित शिशिमार भक्तिवेदांत नारायण गोसाई महाराज श्री गुरुदेव की जाय। नित्य प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अश्वत रचित शिशिमार भक्तिवेदांत वामन गोसाई महाराज की जाय। नित्य प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अश्वत रचित शिशिमार भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्री प्रभुपाद की जाय। नित्य प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अश्वत रचित शिशिमार भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोसाई महाराज की जाय। नित्य प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अश्वत रचित शिशिमार भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई प्रभुपाद की जाय। नित्य प्रविष्ट महाभागवत श्री गोक्षर बाबूजी महाराज की जाय। नित्य प्रविष्ट श्री सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जाय। नित्य प्रविष्ट वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथ दास बाबूजी महाराज की जाय। श्री रूपानुगौरी गुरु वर्ग की जाय। श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल पददास रघुनाथ शारद गोसाई प्रभु की जाय। श्री स्वरूप दामोदर राय रामानंदारी श्री गौर पार्षद वृंद की जाय। नाम अक्षय श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जाय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जाय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल व्रज मंडल मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जाय। सर्व अभिष्ट प्रदाता गिरिराज महाराज की जाय। श्री राधा कुंद श्याम कुंद की जाय। श्री यमुना देवी गंगा देवी की जाय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जाय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जाय। श्री पूर्णमासी योगमाया की जाय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जाय। श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जाय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री चैतन्य भागवत की जय। श्री वृंदावन दास ठाकुर की जय। श्री चैतन्य चरितमृत की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। Hare Krishna everybody. Dandavat pranams. Hare Krishna Shubhanand Prabhu. And let's see on Facebook and YouTube. Haribol Karuna Didi, Kishore Prabhu, Raseshwari Mataji, and Ganga Mataji. Dandavat pranams to all of you. Haribol. So, anybody have any kirtan requests for Sachinandan Gaur Hari? If not, I'll just choose something. But let me know. I'm going to share my screen now. One second. All right. Where is it? There it is. Okay. Word is still loading. So, let's think of something. Let me see if anybody wrote any comment. Nope. Okay. How about we do Deva Di Deva? We already did that one, didn't we? God, why is it taking so long? Okay, while it's loading, I'm gonna just sing Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Devadi Deva, Gaura Chandra, Gauridasa Mandire. Devadi Deva, Gaura Chandra, Gauridasa Mandire. Oh, I just see another kirtan request. Okay, Shubhananda Prabhu, yes, let's do that. Agai Gora Madhu Sware, Agai Gora Madhu Sware. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gai Gora Madhu Sware, Gai Gora Madhu Sware. Agrihe thako, vane thako, Sada Hari bole dako. Grihe thako, vane thako, Sada Hari bole dako. Sukhe dukhe bhulo nakho, Badane Hari naam karo re. Sukhe dukhe bhulo nakho, Badane Hari naam karo re. O naam Gai Gora Madhu Sware, Gai Gora Madhu Sware. Maya jale baddha hoye, acho miche kaj loye. Maya jale baddha hoye, acho miche kaj loye. Ekhono chetana peye, Radha Madhav naam bolo re. Ekhono chetana peye, Radha Madhav naam bolo re. O naam Gai Gora Madhu Sware, Gai Gora Madhu Sware. Jivana hoilo shesh, na bhajile Rishikesh. Jivana hoilo shesh, na bhajile Rishikesh. Jivana hoilo yanta, na bhajile Pran Govinda. Jivana hoilo anta, na bhajile Pran Govinda. Bhakti Vinod e upadesh, ekbar naam rase matore. Bhakti Vinod e upadesh, ekbar naam rase matore. O naam Gai Gora Madhu Sware, Gai Gora Madhu Sware. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nimāi Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol. Nimāi Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Shri Sachinandan Gaur Hari ki Jai. Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai. Hari Bol. Dandavat Pranams Niri Hari Prabhu and Yashoda Didi. Hare Krishna. Let's see who else is there. I sang that a little bit too high for myself. Okay. Oh, Kishore said sake. Okay, we could do sake tomorrow. Sake kalaya goram udaram. Hari Bol, Indira Mataji. And there's 11 other people watching. So pranams to all of you. Hari Bol. I like to know all who's there. You don't need to write a comment, but if you do write a comment, then I can see your name. Hari Bol, Raseshwari Mataji. Yeah. Alright, so I am... One second, just sharing my screen. Alright, so we'll do the Mangala Charan and then read the verses that we read yesterday. The translations of the verses we read yesterday. Let me just close this. I thought I opened everything I did. Okay. Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tar Bhaktaya Namo Namaha. Vansha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Ajanulambita bhujo kanakavadato Sankirtanaikapitaro Kamalaya-taksho Vishvambharo Dvijavaro Yugadharmapalo Vande Jagat Priyakaro Karunavataro. Namastrikala Satyaya Jagannātha Sutaya Cha Sabhrityaya Suputraya Sakalatraya Te Namaha. Avatirno Sakarunyo Parichinno Sarishvaro Shri Krishna Caitanya Nityanando Dvau Bhrataro Bhaje. Sajayati Vishuddha Vikrama Kanakaba Kamalaya Tekshana Varajanu Vilambi Sharbhujo Bahuda Bhakti Rasabhinartaka. Jayati Jayati Deva Krishna Chaitanya Chandro Jayati Jayati Kirtis Tasya Nitya Pavitra. Jayati Jayati Bhrityas Tasya Vishveshamurte. Jayati Jayati Nrityam Tasya Sarva Priyanam. Adyeshi Chaitanya Priya Goshtir Charane Ashesha Prakare Mor Danda Paraname. Tabe Bando Shri Krishna Chaitanya Maheshwar Navadvipe Avatar Nama Vishvambar. Um, oh, where is it? Nilachala. Oh, sorry. Well, it's here. Nilachala nivasaya nityaya paramatmane Balabhadra subhadrabhyam Jagannāthaya te namaha Govardhanadaram vande Gopalam goparupinam Gokulotsavam Govindam gopika priyam Tavaivasmi na jivami tvaya vina iti vigyaya devi tvam nayamam charanantikam bhaktya vihina aparadha lakshay kshiptashtakamaditaranga madhye kripa mai tvam sharanam prapanna vrinde namaste charanaravindam Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So now we'll sing this from Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata, the glories of Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata and Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur. 1 second. Ore mor loko shuno Chaitanya mangal Chaitanya mahima jate jani beshaka Krishna lila bhagavate kohe veda vyas Chaitanya lila vyas vrindavana das koila Chaitanya mangal jahara shravane nashe sarvaya mangal Chaitanya nitar jate janiya mahima ajate jani Krishna bhakti siddhanter sima Bhagavate jata bhakti siddhanter sar likhiyachen iha jani koriya udar Chaitanya mangala shune jadi pashandi javan Sheho maha vaishnava hoy tatakhan Manushe rachite nare aiche granta dhanya Vrindavana dasa mukhe vakta Śrī Caitanya Vrindavana dasa pore koti namaskar Aiche granta korite ho tarila sansar Narayani Chaitanyer uchishta bhajan Tar garbe janmila Śrī Dasa Vrindavan Tar ki arbhuta Chaitanya charita varnan Jahara shavane shuddha koila tribhuvan Sahaje vichitra madhur Chaitanya vihar Vrindavana dasa mukhe amrite radha. By nature, all the activities of Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu are very wonderful and sweet, and when they are described by Vrindavan Das Thakur, they become like a shower of nectar. Okay, so now we will begin our where did we I'm just looking at the verse numbers. Let's see. 1 second, just looking at my YouTube channel. Where is it? Live. Okay, so yesterday we read verses 1 to 67, and today, no, should be 57, right? And today we'll read from 57 to 151. I have to fix that. Hey, I did fix that though. Did I forget to click save? Ah, shoot. Oh, that's so annoying. Anyhow. Whatever. Okay. So we're reading up to 56. Okay. Alright, sorry, 1 second. Let me just see all the comments. Yes, Sky Gora Madhur Sware is a very madhur song. Sweet. Okay. Okay, so chapter 7. Oops. I have to write 7. Okay. Śrī Viśvarūpa takes sannyās. Chapter 7. Okay. All glories to Śrī Gaurachandra, the Lord of all lords. All glories to Vishwambar's beloved devotees. All glories to Śrī Jagannātha and Shachi's son, who is the life and soul of all. O Lord, please deliver the living entities by your merciful glance. In this way, Śrī Gaurasundar manifested his childhood pastimes in Navadvip. The Lord regularly engaged in mischief-making. He would not stop even by his mother's order. Whenever his parents tried to restrain him, he would create twice as much mischief. He would then break anything at home that he could get his hands on. Thus, out of fear, his parents no longer tried to restrain the Lord, otherwise he'd break everything, who is the Lord, who is then free to fully enjoy his pastimes. The topics of Ādi-khaṇḍa are like a stream of nectar, for they relate the childhood pastimes of Lord Narayan. The Lord was not afraid of anyone, including his parents, but he displayed humility on seeing his elder brother, Viśvarūpa. That was one person he would display humility in front of. Śrī Viśvarūpa, the personality of Godhead, was the Lord's elder brother. From birth, he was detached from sense gratification. He was the abode of all transcendental qualities. He explains that the purport of all the scriptures was devotional service to Lord Vishnu, and no one was able to refute his explanation. One second. I just need to see this message. I'll respond later. Okay. With his ears, mouth, mind, and other senses, he would not speak or hear about anything other than devotional service to Lord Krishna. Seeing his brother's uncommon activities, Viśvarūpa was struck with wonder and thought. He thought, "This boy cannot be an ordinary child. His beauty and activities appear just like those of Sri Bal Gopal. I can understand from the uncommon activities he constantly performs that Lord Krishna enjoys pastimes through the body of this child." Considering in this way, Viśvarūpa kept to his own activities and did not disclose this secret to anyone. He constantly associated with the Vaishnavas by discussing topics of Krishna, performing devotional service to Krishna, and engaging in the worship of Krishna. The people of the world were mad for enjoying wealth, children, and education. Whenever they saw the Vaishnavas, they would ridicule them. They would compose blasphemous rhymes and recite them whenever they saw the Vaishnavas. They challenged, "What is the use of being a sannyāsi, a chaste wife, or a tapasvi? They must also die. We consider someone pious if he can ride on a palanquin or horse surrounded by 10 or 20 people." You all cry for the Lord with love and devotion, yet you remain poverty-stricken. You loudly and repeatedly chant the name of Lord Hari, but he has become angry when anyone loudly chants his name. People who are devoid of devotion for the Supreme Lord would speak to the Vaishnavas in this way, and the devotees felt great sorrow on hearing such things. The sound of the chanting of Lord Krishna's name could not be heard anywhere, as everyone in the world continually burned in the fire of material existence. The Supreme Lord, Śrī Viśvarūpa, was most distressed because he did not hear any glorification of his worshipable Lord Śrī Krishna. Even those who spoke on Bhagavad Gita or Śrīmad Bhāgavatam would never explain anything about devotion to Krishna. The teachers wasted their lives in useless arguments. People of the world had not even heard the name Bhakti. Thus the devotees headed by Advaita Acharya simply cried upon seeing the atheistic mentality of the people. In such distress, Viśvarūpa considered, I will not look at the face of these materialistic people. Rather, I will go to the forest. Every morning, Śrī Viśvarūpa would take bath in the Ganga, and then he would go to the gathering of at Advaita Prabhu's house. Viśvarūpa established devotional service to Krishna as the essence of all scriptures. On hearing Viśvarūpa's explanation, Advaita Prabhu roared with happiness. Advaita left his deity worship to embrace Viśvarūpa, and all the Vaishnavas happily chanted, Hari, Hari. Then, in the ecstasy of Krishna consciousness, all the devotees roared loudly like lions, and lamentation no longer remained in their hearts. The devotees had no desire to leave Viśvarūpa's association to go home, nor did Viśvarūpa have any desire to leave them. And then from these verses are on the household of Advaita Acharya in Mayapur. It's written on a big board in front of the house. After completing her cooking, Mother Shachi told Vishwambar, Go quickly and bring your elder brother. On the order of his mother, the Lord came to Advaita Acharya's house to call his elder brother home. When the Lord arrived there, he saw all the Vaishnavas engaged in discussing topics of Lord Krishna. Hearing his glorification, Sri Gaurasundar glanced mercifully on them. Each of the Lord's limbs surpassed the topmost limits of beauty. Even millions of moons could not be compared with one of his toenails. Standing naked with his body covered with dust, Vishwambar smiled, and he spoke to his elder brother. My dear brother, please come to eat. Mother is calling you. Vishwambar then caught hold of his brother's dhoti and followed him home. On seeing the Lord's enchanting form, all the devotees were stunned, and they continually stared at him. The devotees practically entered samadhi. They were even unable to speak about Krishna. Devotees are by nature overwhelmed on seeing their Lord. Indeed, even before the devotees realized his identity, the Lord stole away their hearts. Materialistic persons are unable to understand how the Lord steals the hearts of his devotees. Yet this mystery was disclosed by Shukadeva Goswami to Maharaj Parikshit in the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Please hear now the matchless discussion between Sri Shukadeva Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam in this connection. When Sri Gaurachandra appeared as Krishna in Gokul, he played in all the houses there with the other children. From the time of the Lord's birth, the gopis had more affection for him than they had for their own sons. Although they never considered Krishna the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they had a natural attraction for him, more than they had for their own sons. Hearing this, Maharaj Parikshit was struck with wonder. His hair stood on end, and he inquired from Shukadeva Goswami as follows. O Goswami, I have never before heard such wonderful narrations within the three worlds. Please explain to me how the gopis displayed more affection for Krishna, another's son, than for their own sons. Shukadeva Goswami replied, O Maharaj Parikshit, it is well known that the Supersoul is dear to all. When the soul leaves the son, wife, or friend, their body is taken out of the house. Therefore, the Supersoul is the life of everyone. That Supersoul is a son of Nanda Maharaj. Thus, the gopis have more affection for Krishna due to his natural characteristics as the Supreme Soul. So this is where we read up to yesterday. Let's just reread that last sentence. Thus, the gopis have more affection for Krishna due to his natural characteristics as a Supreme Soul. Okay, 57. Eho kata bhakta prati anya prati nahe anyata jagate kene sneha na karoye. This, however, applies only to the devotees, not others. Otherwise, why doesn't everyone show affection for Krishna? Why do demons like Kamsa envy Krishna, the Supreme Soul? This is due simply to previous offenses. Oops, I'm not reading the Bengali. I read this though, right? Yeah, okay. Kamsa diha atma Krishne tave hingsa kene purva aparadha ache tahara karane. So why do demons like Kamsa envy Krishna, the Supreme Soul? This is due simply to previous offenses. Sahaje sharkara mishta sarva jane keho tikta vase jiva dosher karane jivarshe dosha sharkarar dosha nai ataeva sarva mishta chaitanya goshai. Everyone knows that sugar is sweet by nature, but if the tongue is diseased, then the sugar will taste bitter. That is the fault of the tongue, not the sugar. The conclusion is that Lord Chaitanya is the sweetest of all. Gaudiya Bhashya by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada. Although sweet sugar tastes bitter to the jaundice-infected tongue, the sweetness of sugar has no bitterness. Yeah, the sugar is sweet. It's just the tongue which is making it taste bitter. Similarly, there cannot be any lack of love in Śrī Caitanya-dev, who is the source of all auspiciousness. Those who cannot understand Śrī Caitanya-dev to be their worshipable Lord are in that position because of their offenses. In terms of his position as the doer, Śrī Caitanya-dev is directly Krishna, but the material vision of the conditioned souls is infected with imperfection and ignorance, so they consider Śrī Caitanya-dev an ordinary living entity with Anuchetana, or minute consciousness, while in fact he is Vibhu Chaitanya. He is the supreme consciousness. E navadvipete dekhilo sarva jane tatapiha keho na janila bhakta bine. Although everyone saw the Lord in Navadvip, no one could recognize him other than the devotees. Gaudiya Bhashya. Although bhakti, the eternal propensity of the soul, is present in every living entity's heart, it is impossible for the conditioned souls to realize, just as it is impossible to see one's face in a dusty mirror. In such a state, the eternal propensity of the living entities, service to Krishna, that remains dormant. Therefore, they are seen to have a taste for karma and jnana. That is why service to the Lord is found only in persons who have a service attitude. Whoa, this might be helpful for Sundar Gopal. There. Sorry, guys. While that's loading, I'm just going to check the comments really quick. Okay. Oh, come on. It's because this Word doc is 6,252 pages. It's 859,000 words. So anytime I make any change on it, it just freaks out. Oh, come on. Why is it taking so long? Oh, man, I shouldn't have highlighted that. That was a bad idea. Hare Krishna. Radhe Radhe. Radhe Radhe. Yes, 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 I'm fine. Yes, Hare Krishna. Oh, shoot. What's going on, man? This is ridiculous. I need to break up this file into small parts so that it doesn't do this. I just haven't gotten around to it. Oh, come on. There, finally. Oh. Okay, I'm not going to do that again. Sorry about that, guys. Bhakter she chitta prabhu hare sarvathai viharaye navadipe vaikunte rai. The Lord of Vaikuntha attracted the hearts of all the devotees as he enjoyed his pastimes in Navadip. Mohiya sabar chitta prabhu Vishwambar agraje loila chalilen nija ghar. After thus enchanting everyone's heart, Lord Vishwambar returned home with his elder brother. Mane mane chintaye advaita mahashar prakrita manusha kabhu e balakanoy. Shri Advaita Prabhu considered to himself, this boy is not an ordinary person. Sarva Vaishnaver prati bolila Advaita kon vastu e balaka na jani nishchita. Then Advaita said to the Vaishnavas, I do not know what sort of boy he is. Prashangshite lagilen sarva bhaktagan apurva Viśvarūpa lavanya katan. All the devotees then began to praise the beauty and charm of that wonderful child. Nama matra Viśvarūpa chalilen ghare Puna ailen shigra Advaita mandire. Viśvarūpa returned home simply out of formality. Then, as soon as possible, he returned to Advaita's house. Na bhai sangsara sukh Viśvarūpa mane niravadi thake Krishna ananda kirtane. The desire for material enjoyment never appeared in the mind of Viśvarūpa. He constantly remained in the ecstasy of chanting Krishna's names. Grihe aileo griha vyabhar na kore niravadi thake Vishnu griher bhitore. Even when he was at home, he never engaged in household activities. Rather, he would always stay in the temple room. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word Vishnu Griha is explained as follows. Formerly, in every Brahmana's house, there was a separate room for keeping the deity form of Narayan, the Shalagram. This deity room is known as the Vishnu Griha. While at home, Shri Viśvarūpa would generally pass his time worshipping or meditating in the deity room, in the Vishnu Griha. Vivaher udyog koroe pita mata shuni Viśvarūpa boro mane pae vyata. When his mother and father spoke of arranging his marriage, Viśvarūpa felt great mental pain. Charibo sangsar Viśvarūpa mane bhave chali jaya bane matra e mane jage. Viśvarūpa also thought to himself, I will leave home and go to the forest, but I will not get married. Ishvarer chitta vritti Ishvara se jane Viśvarūpa sannyāsa korila kotodine. The heart of the Lord is known only to the Lord. Thus, after a few days, Viśvarūpa left to take sannyās. Jagate vidita naam Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata chalila anantapate Vaishnavagraganya. He then became known throughout the world as Śrī Shankaracharya. He traversed the path of devotional service to Lord Krishna, and he became celebrated as the topmost Vaishnav. 1 second, guys. Do you want to do a breathing exercise for me? It takes 2 minutes. I think that will make me awake, if you don't mind. Here. You don't have to do this, but I think this will make the reading a lot more pleasant for everybody because I'll be more awake. Breathe. I need energy. Is there 1 minute? It's not letting me click on the 1 minute. Okay, it's going to be 2 minutes. Sorry, guys. Okay, breathe in. Okay. I'm just going to do a couple. One more. One last one. Okay, that's enough. Finished earlier. Plus. Okay, that woke me up actually. Okay, Gaudiya Bhashya. So, he then became known throughout the world as Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata. He traversed the path of devotional service to Lord Krishna, and he became celebrated as the topmost Vaishnava. Gaudiya Bhashya. Viśvarūpa accepted sannyās in the Śrī Shankara Sampradaya and became famous by the name Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata. At that time, there were 10 names for sannyasis being used in the Shankara Sampradaya. The name Aranya is one of those 10 names. These 10 names for sannyasis were previously used in the Viśvarūpa Sampradaya. After these Viśvarūpa sannyasis had quarreled with the Ekadandi sannyasis from the Śrīvaswami Sampradaya, they entered into the Shankara Sampradaya. In the original Viśvarūpa Sampradaya, however, there were 108 names used for sannyasis. By the influence of the Śrīvaswami Sampradaya, the Vedic sannyasi names were reduced to 10 after the time of Shankaracharya. Interesting. After traveling throughout the country, Śrī Shankararanya arrived at Pandharpur in the district of Sholapur, near Bombay, and he took samadhi on the bank of the Bhima river. It is said that Śrī Shankararanya, the king of sannyasis, entered the deity of Vittalanath. That should be not an H there. Vittalanath. Or Śrī Vithoba. While traveling to South India many years later, in 1511, Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata went to Pandharpur and heard from Śrī Rangapuri about Viśvarūpa's disappearance. At that time, oops, I made a change and now it got frozen again. I have to stop making any changes. Sorry guys, to give this a minute. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Oh God. I'm going to do this today. I'm going to divide this into many parts. Oh man. Oh God, that was a mistake. That was just an impulse. Okay, there. Finally. Okay, so it is said that Śrī Shankararanya, being the king of sannyasis, entered the deity of Śrī Vittalanath or Vithoba. While traveling to South India many years later, in 1511, Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata went to Pandharpur and heard from Śrī Rangapuri about Śrī Viśvarūpa's disappearance. At that time, Pandharpur was a famous place of pilgrimage and populated by many sadhus and Vaishnavas. Chalilen jadi Viśvarūpa mahashai, Shachi Jagannātha dagda hoila hriday. Viśvarūpa's departure from home left Shachi and Jagannath grief-stricken. Goshti saha krandana koroye ubharai, bhair virahe murcha gela gorai. Oh, this is so sad. Śrī Gauranga cried loudly along with all his family members, and eventually fell unconscious out of separation from his brother. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word ubharai means loudly. She viraha varnite vadane nahi pari, hoilo krandana moy Jagannātha puri. I am unable to describe their feelings of separation, by which Jagannātha Miśra's entire house became inundated with crying. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word Jagannātha Puri refers to the house of Jagannātha Miśra, or the present-day Yogapith in Sri Mayapur. Viśvarūpa sannyāsa dekhiya bhaktagan, advaitadi sabe bahu korila krandan. Understanding that Viśvarūpa has taken sannyas, Advaita and the other devotees all began weeping. Gaudiya Bhashya. At the time of Sriman Mahaprabhu, the study of Vedic scriptures was prominent in Navadvip, which was referred to as Godapur by Maharshi Panini. In order to demonstrate that one's material attachment is not destroyed without such study, in order to demonstrate that one's material attachment is not destroyed without such study, many personalities headed by Sri Gaurasundar's elder brother Sri Viśvarūpa accepted sannyas, and thus increased the glories of Godapur, the center of education at that time. The acceptance of sannyas by Sri Gaurasundar and Sri Purushottam Bhattacharya is mentioned in many Gaudiya scriptures, many Gaudiya devotional scriptures. Apart from them, many other jewel-like scholars like Sri Ishwar Puri, the disciple of Sri Madhavendra, often visited Godapur, the center of education. After traveling to the holy places with his sannyas guru, Sri Nityananda Prabhu also came to Godapur and met Sri Gaurasundar. The sannyasi disciples of both Keshav Bharati and Sri Madhavendra Puripad illuminated the path of accepting sannyas for members of the Varnashram society. Surrounded by many Mayavadi sannyasis, Prakashananda Saraswati of Kashi simply wasted his time in arguments based on mental speculation. Srimad Prabodhananda Saraswati, a Tridandi sannyasi of the Sri Ramanuja Sampradaya, and other Tridandipads, like Sri Madhvacharya, accepted Tridandi sannyas and engaged in the service of Lord Hari as practiced in the line of the original Sarvagya Vishnu Swami. In the Varnashram society of that time, respect and honor was offered to sannyasis by all communities. Later on, the Dadi sannyasis engaged in panchamakar, like eating fish and meat and drinking wine, and thus brought deformation and harm to the principle of the sannyas order. This certainly is a matter of great concern. In order to check this degradation, the pure Gaudiya devotees have now reintroduced the process of Tridandi sannyas, which is more recently present in this world by name only, and thus bestowed happiness and great happiness on the community of Vaishnavas. Although the crying of Sri Advaita Prabhu appeared to be caused by feelings of separation, it is understood by the solacing words of Jagannātha Miśra's friends that the learned scholars were overjoyed from this incident. The tears of lamentation of the attached householders who were averse to the sannyasi's renunciation, and the tears of ecstasy of the devotees who are fond of the sannyasi's service at the lotus feet of Mukunda, are not of the same nature. Uttama madhyama je shunilo nadiyai, heno nahi je shuniya dukkha nahi pai. Everyone in Nadia who heard about the incident, whether ordinary or exalted devotee, all felt unhappy. Jagannātha Shachir vidirna hoy buka, nirantara dake Viśvarūpa. Putra shoke Miśra Chandra hoila vivahal, prabodha koroye bandhu bandhava shakal. Jagannātha Miśra and Shachi Devi were both heartbroken and continually cried out, Viśvarūpa, Viśvarūpa. Sri Miśra was overwhelmed with lamentation for his son, So his friends and relatives all tried to pacify him. Gaudiya Bhashya. Jagannātha Miśra's display of affection due to lamentation for his son, like that of an ordinary father for his son, was actually to deceive persons who are bewildered by material objects like their sons. The glorification of Sri Viśvarūpa's acceptance of sannyās and engagement in worshipping Krishna increased the prestige of the Daiva Varnashram sannyasis, who destroy the lamentation born of material enjoyment. Stiraho Miśra Dukha na bhaviho mane sarva goshte udharila she mahajane. Dear Miśra, please control yourself. Do not feel sad, but that great personality has delivered us all. Wait, who's speaking again? Okay, these are just his friends and relatives trying to pacify him. Goshtite purusho jar koroye sannyās trikoti kuler hoy Śrī Caitanya vas. When someone takes sannyās, millions of family members are promoted to Vaikuntha. Eno karma korile nandana tomar safal hoilo vidya sampurna tahar. Your son has perfected his education by this act. Ananda vishesha aro korite jujai eto boli shakale dhoroi hate pai. Therefore, it is befitting for you to feel even more happy than before. Saying this, they all held the hands and feet of Jagannātha Miśra. Ekul bhushana tomar Viśvambhar e putra hoibe tomar vamshadhar. Your son Viśvambhar is the ornament of your dynasty. Iha hoite sarva dukha guchibe tomar koti putra ki koribe e putra jahar. He will eradicate all your suffering. If one has a son such as him, what is the need for millions of sons? E mata shabe bujayena bandhugan tatapi mishrer dukha na hoy khandan. In this way, all of Jagannātha Miśra's friends tried to pacify him, but his distress remained unmitigated. 88. Jete mate dharya dhore Miśra mahashai Viśvarūpa gunasmari dhoriya pasharai. If somehow or other he regained his composure, as soon as he remembered Viśvarūpa's qualities, he again lost his patience. Miśra bole e putra rohi bheka ghare ihate pramana mor naloy antare. Śrī Miśra said, I have no reason to believe that this son will remain at home. Dilen Krishna se putra Nilen Krishna she Jai Krishna Chandrer Icha Hoi Bo She She. Krishna gave me a son, and then he took him away. Whatever Krishna desires, that is what will happen. Swatantra jiver tilar deka shakti nai Dehendriya Krishna samar pilu toma thai. Independent of you, the living entities have no power whatsoever. Therefore, O Lord Krishna, independent of you, the living entities have no power whatsoever. Therefore, O Krishna, I am surrendering my body and senses unto you. E rupa jnana yoge Miśra mahadhir alpe alpe chitta vritti korilen sthir. In this way, the most sober Jagannātha Miśra gradually controlled his mind through the process of Gyan. Gaudiya Bhashya. Gaudiya Bhashya. Jagannātha Miśra's modified form of Vatsalya Ras that was born from his physical consideration was destroyed when Viśvarūpa took sannyās, and he realized that the eternal absolute truth, Lord Vishnu, was his son. Such realization frees one from the shackles of mundane parenthood and in real sannyās. He namate Viśvarūpa hoila bahir Nityananda Swarupere abhed sharir. That is the story of how Viśvarūpa, who is none different from Nityananda Swarup, left home. Jai Shunaye Viśvarūpa Prabhur sannyās Krishna bhakti hoy tar chinde karma phans. Whoever hears the pastimes of Viśvarūpa's acceptance of sannyās attains devotional service to Lord Krishna and freedom from the bondage of material bondage. He attains freedom from the bondage of fruit of work. Gaudiya Bhashya. Śrī Viśvarūpa Prabhu is Sankarshan and is therefore none different from Śrī Nityananda Swarup. The Prakash expansion of Mool Sankarshan, Śrī Baladev Nityananda Prabhu and Mahavaikuntha, has appeared as Viśvarūpa in Gaur Leela. If one hears the pastime of Viśvarūpa's accepting sannyās, he will attain freedom from the bondage of fruitive activities. Śrī Viśvarūpa has 3 expansions. The first Purusha incarnation, Karandakshai Vishnu, the second Purusha incarnation, the Garbhodakshai Vishnu, and the third Purusha incarnation, Kshiradakshai Vishnu. If a living entity understands these 3 Vishnu forms in truth, he can attain freedom from the material concept of life. Viśvarūpa sannyāsa shuniya bhaktagan harishe vishada save bhave anukhan. As the devotees heard about Viśvarūpa's accepting sannyās, they simultaneously felt happiness and lamentation. Jai bachilo sthana Krishna katako hi bar taha Krishna harilen ama sabakar. They said, whatever little opportunity we had for discussing the topics of Krishna together, Krishna has taken away. Amarao narohibe chali jaya vane e papishta lokamukha na dekhi lekhane. Let us also leave home and go to the forest. Then we will not see the faces of these sinful people. Gaudiya Bhashya. The phrase papishta lokamukha refers to the faces of persons who are averse to Krishna and expert in material life. Pashandir Bhakya Jwalar Sabhibo Bhakatar Nirantar Asatsanga Nirantar Asatpate Sarva Lokarata. Pashandir Bhakya Jwalar Sahiba Vakata Nirantar Asatpate Sarva Lokarata. How long must we tolerate the burning words of these atheists? They are all continuously engaged in materialistic activities. Krishna heno nama nahi shuni karo mukhe sakala sangsara dubi more mithya sukhe. We do not hear the name of Krishna from anyone's mouth. The entire world is absorbed in illusory happiness. Gaudiya Bhashya. The words mithya sukh refers to the temporary happiness derived from sense gratification. Mithya means false happiness. Only the Atma Ramas, or self-satisfied souls, can experience the eternal happiness of serving Lord Vishnu. When the perishable sensual happiness of the conditioned souls who are averse to Vishnu is checked, or when the object of their happiness is destroyed, that same temporary happiness turns into misery. Bhojayile keho Krishna patanahi loy uriya aroshe upahasa koroy. Even if they are instructed, they will not take to devotional life. On the contrary, they taunt us, saying, Gaudiya Bhashya. The materialists were maddened with temporary material happiness. They could not understand the supreme absolute truth, and as a result, they became scornful and laughed. But actually, they were unable to understand the service of Adhokshaj Krishna by the strength of their sensual knowledge. rather than understanding the devotional service to Lord Krishna is the only necessity, such materialists become attached to this world and the fruits of their work. Krishna bhaji tomar hoilo kon sukh, magiya shekhao aro bare jata dukh. What pleasure do you derive by worshipping Krishna? What pleasure do you derive by worshipping Krishna? You even have to beg for your own food. What pleasure do you derive by worshipping Krishna? You even have to beg for your food. In this way you increase your distress. These foolish people were saying. Gaudiya Bhashya. Foolish persons who are averse to Lord Hari compare materialists with Krishna's devotees by saying, the devotee of Krishna has no enjoyment, and they always live in poverty, which simply increases their misery. Yogya nahe e sab loker sannyās, vane chali jaya boli shabe chhade shwas. It is not proper to live with such people. Therefore, we should go to the forest. Saying this, they sighed deeply. Prabodena sabare advaita mahashai, paiba paramananda sabe nishchay. Attempting to console them, Śrī Advaita Prabhu said, you will all certainly attain great ecstasy. Ebe boro vasamui hridaye ulas, hen buji Krishna Chandra korila prakash. Even now I am feeling overjoyed at heart, so I can understand that Sri Krishna Chandra has already advented. Sabe Krishna gao giya paramanda harishe, etai dekiva Krishna kote kadivase. All of you go and happily chant Krishna's names, and in a few days you will see Krishna right here. Toma savaloya hoive Krishner vilas, Taveshe advaita hoya shuddha Krishna das. Krishna will enjoy his pastimes with all of you. Then the meaning of my name, Advaita, will be fulfilled, and I will be celebrated as the unalloyed servants of Lord Śrī Caitanya. Kadachit jahapai shukava pralad, toma sabar bhritteyo paibe se prasad. All you devotees will receive mercy that even Shukadev Goswami and Prahlad Maharaj did not receive. Kadachit jahana pai shukava pralad, toma sabar bhritteyo paibe se prasad. All you devotees will receive mercy that even Shukadev Goswami and Prahlad Maharaj did not receive. Gaudiya Bhashya. In the pure servitorship of Krishna, there are no mixed or separate interests. Although the characteristics of both the absolute truth Sri Krishna and the ingredients of his enjoyment are qualitatively one, his multifarious energies manifest a second variety of pastimes. And the philosophies of Shuddha Dvaita, purified dualism, Shuddha Dvaita, purified monism, and Dvaita Dvaita, monism in distress. I'm going to stand up. Sorry, guys. Oh. I took a melatonin. I think that might be why I'm getting. Okay. What was I reading? Although the characteristics of both the absolute truth Sri Krishna and the ingredients of his enjoyment are qualitatively one, his multifarious energies manifest a variety of pastimes. In the philosophies of Shuddha Dvaita, purified dualism, Shuddha Advaita, purified monism, Dvaita, monism and dualism, and Vishishta Dvaita, specific monism, the worship of Krishna is primarily stressed. Sorry guys, I think I already read that. Why did it freeze? Oh man, I accidentally clicked something when I picked up my computer. Oh God, I think we only have a little bit left anyways. Sorry guys. Okay, I'm just gonna sit in a chair while this is loading. And I'll look at the comments also. Nobody wrote anything. Okay. All 10 of you have just been patiently, no, all 13 of you have just been patiently waiting for me. Okay. Such non-dual consideration was also accepted by Śrī Advaita Prabhu. Okay. So in the Chaitanya Chandramrita verse 18, Tridandi Swami Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati has stated, "The dear devotees of Lord Gaur happily enjoy pastimes on the splendid path of pure devotional service, which great sages like Vyasadeva could not thoroughly understand, which material intelligence has no power to enter, which Shukadeva Goswami could not reveal, and which merciful Lord Krishna never revealed to his devotees." Śrī Rupa Prabhu has stated in his Upadeshamrita verse 11 as follows, "Ya preshtir apyalam asulabam kim punar bhakti bhajam." That which is very rarely attained even by great devotees is even more difficult for ordinary devotees to attain. Shuni advaiter ati amrita vachan parama anande hari bole bhaktagan. After hearing Śrī Advaita's nectarian words, all the devotees chanted the name of Hari in great ecstasy. Hari boli bhaktagan koro ye hunkar Sukhamoy chitta vritti hoilo savar. As the devotees loudly chanted the name of Hari, their hearts were filled with happiness. Shishu shange kridda kore Shri Gora Sundar Hari dvani shuni jai barir bhitor. Shri Gaurasundar was playing outside with some other children, but when he heard the name of Hari, he went inside the house. Ki karje aila bap bole bhakta gane Prabhu bole tomar dakila more kene. The devotees asked him, "Why have you come here? Child?" Bap, bap. And the Lord replied, "Why did you call me?" Eta boli Prabhu Shishu shange dhaya jai tatapi na jane ke ho Prabhur mayai. Saying this, the Lord ran away with the children, yet by his influence no one could recognize him. Je abadi Viśvarūpa hoila bahir tadavadi Prabhu kichu hoila sustir. Since Viśvarūpa left home, the Lord became somewhat more peaceful. Niravadi thake pita matar samipe dukha pasaraye jeno janani janake. He constantly remained at the side of his mother and father, so that they would feel some relief from their distress. Kela sambariya Prabhu jatna kori pode tilar deka pustaka chadiya nahi norde. The Lord stopped playing and concentrated on his studies. He would not leave his books for even a moment. 116. Ekabar je sutra podiya Prabhu jai ar bar ulardiya sabare thekai. The Lord mastered a sutra after reading it only once, and he was able to defeat all others in debating its meaning. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word ulardhiya comes from the Hindi word ulta, which means turned around, or rather. Isn't that same in Bengali? Ulta? Yeah. The word thekai means put into danger or defeats. Dekhiya apurva buddhi sabe prashangse sabe bole dhanya pita mata heno vangshe. Everyone praised his wonderful intelligence and declared,
Glorious are the father and mother of one who has such a child, such a son. Santoshe kohen sabe Jagannātha sthane, Tumito Kritartha Miśra eheno nantane. In satisfaction, they then said to Jagannātha Miśra, "You are most fortunate to have such a son. E mata subudhi shishu nahi tribhuvane, Brihaspati jiniya hoibe adhyayane." In the three worlds, there is no child as intelligent as this boy. He will defeat Brihaspati in learning. Shunile sarva artha apane vakhane, ta fanki vana vakhanite nare kona jane. He can explain the meaning of anything he hears just once. No one is able to defeat his reasoning. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word funky is a corruption of the Sanskrit word oh my god, it sounds like the F word. I'll make it extra pakika, which means finding faults in a conclusion, creating doubt, and again re-establishing the original conclusion. It also means shrewd argument or cleverly. So no one will be able to defeat him. His shrewd arguments. Shuniya putrer guna janani harisha, Miśra puna chitta boro hoy Viśvarūpa. Mother Shachi was pleased to hear about her son's extraordinary qualities, while Jagannātha Miśra again became greatly morose at heart. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word Viśvarūpa means morose. Shachi prati bole Jagannātha Miśra var, Eho putra na rahibe sangsara bhitar. Śrī Miśra said to Shachi, This son will also not remain at home. E mata Viśvarūpa puri sarva shastra, Janila sangsara satya nahetila matra. Śrī Viśvarūpa studied all the scriptures and understood the temporary nature of this world. Sarva shastra marma jani Viśvarūpa dhir, anitya sangsara hoite hoila bahir. After learning the essence of the scriptures, the sober-minded Viśvarūpa gave up transitory material life. Eho jadi sarva shastre hoibe jnanavan, chariya sangsara sukh koribe payan. If this boy also becomes well versed in the scriptures, then he will also give up material happiness and leave home. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word payan is a corruption of the word prayan, which means depart, go, or journey. 126. E putra sabe dui janer jivan, ihare na dekhile dui janer maran. This son is our life and soul. If we do not see him, we will both certainly die. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word dui janer refers to Vishwambara's father and mother. Ataeva ihar puriya karjanai, murka hoya ghare mor rahu ka Nimāi. Therefore, he should no longer study. Let Nimāi remain at home as a fool. Shachi bole murka hoile jiveka kemone, murkhere ta kanyao na dibe kona jane. Shachi replied, If he remains a fool, how will he survive? Furthermore, who will offer their daughter to a fool? Gaudiya Bhashya. The word jivek means continue to live. This word is used in Radhadesh. Interesting. Miśra bole tumito abodha viprasuta, harta karta bharta Krishna sabara rakhita. Jagannātha Miśra replied, You are the ignorant daughter of a Brahmin. Lord Krishna is the doer, the controller, the maintainer, and the protector of all living entities. Jagat poshana kore jagater nath, panditye poshoye keba kohila tomat. The Supreme Lord maintains the entire universe. Who told you that good education can maintain one? Gaudiya Bhashya. The word poshaye means maintains. Kiba morka ki pandita jahar jekhane, kanya likhi ache Krishna she hoibe apane. Whether one is a fool or a scholar, they will marry wherever and whomever Krishna has sanctioned for them. Kula vidya adi upalakshana shakal, sabare poshoye Krishna sarva shastra bal. Education, birth, and other qualities are only superficial. Krishna alone is the maintainer and strength of all. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word upalakshana refers to that which reveals the propensity of an object, not the primary propensity of the object, rather the secondary quality. Shakshate ekene na dekho amata, poriao amar ghare keno nahi bhata. This can be directly seen in my life. Although I am educated, I am nevertheless poor. Bhalo mate varna uchariteo jenare, sahasra pandita giya dekho tar dware. Someone else may be unable to properly recite the alphabet, yet he may have thousands of scholars at his doorstep. Ataeva vidya adi na kore poshan, Krishna se sabara kore poshan palan. Therefore, qualities like good education cannot maintain one. Only Krishna maintains us. Anayasena maranam, vina dainyena jivanam, anaradita govinda, charanasya katam bhavet. For one who has never worshipped the lotus feet of Lord Govinda, how is it possible for him to live in comfort and die in peace? Anayase marana jivan danya bine, Krishna se bile she hoy nahe vidyadhane. If one wants to live without poverty and die peacefully, then he should serve Krishna. Education and wealth will not help. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word nahe means not impossible. Krishna kripa bine nahe dukher mochan, thakilo vavidyakul koti koti dhan. One's distress can never be mitigated without the mercy of Krishna, even if one is endowed with high education, good birth, and great wealth. Jar grihe achaye utuma upabhog, tar Krishna diyachen kono maharog. One may have luxurious items for enjoyment in his house, yet by the arrangement of the Lord, he may be suffering from disease. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word upabhog means the best means of enjoyment. Kichu vilasite nare dukhe puri more, jar nahi taha hoite dukhi boli tare. Such a person cannot enjoy a thing, and thus burns in misery. I consider him more miserable than one who does not possess anything. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word vilasite means to freely enjoy. Ete ko jani ha thaki leo kichu noy, jar jeno Krishna agya she satya hoy. Know for certain that one may possess great opulence, but unless Krishna permits, he cannot enjoy. Eteke na koro chinta putra prati tumi, Krishna pushi ben putra kohilaya ami. Therefore, do not worry about your son. I assure you that Krishna will maintain him. Javat sharire pran achaye amar, tavat tileka dukha nahi ko uhar. As long as I live, I will not allow him to suffer the least. Ama sabar Krishna achen. Hare Krishna. Ama sabara Krishna achen rakhaita. Kiva chinta tumi jar mata pativrata. We have Lord Krishna as our protector, and you are a good mother and chaste wife, so why should you worry? Poriya nahi ko karja, bolilon tomare, morka hoy putra mor, rahu matra ghare. Therefore, I say that he does not need to study further. Let him stay at home, uneducated. Eto bole putre re, dakila Miśra var, Miśra bole shuno bap, amar uttar. Saying this, Jagannātha Miśra called his son and told him, "Listen, my dear son. Aji hoite ar pata nahi ko tomar, ihate anyata koro shapata amar." From today on, I want you to give up your studies. I forbid you to continue. Je tomar icha bap, tai dibo ami, grihe bosi parama mangale thako tumi. Dear son, my dear son, I will give you whatever you desire. Stay comfortably at home. Eto bole Miśra chali len karyantar, porite na pai ar Prabhu Viśvarūpa. Saying this, Jagannātha Miśra went to attend to his duties, and Lord Viśvarūpa refrained from further studies. Nitya dharma sanatan Śrī Gauranga Rai, na langhe janaka vakya porite na jai. The personification of eternal religious principles, Śrī Gauranga Rai, followed his father's instructions and gave up his studies. One second, what verse am I reading up to? 151. Oh, we just finished. No, this one. Antare dukite Prabhu, Vidyarasa bhange, Puna Prabhu udhata hoila shishu sange. The Lord was disappointed to give up his scholastic pursuits, so he again began his childhood mischief. So we'll hear more about the childhood mischief that Nimāi began again tomorrow. And we'll hear about the story of when he sits on the discarded, contaminated pots. His discussion with Śrī Mata. That's our reading tomorrow. Thanks for tolerating my sleepiness again. I've been putting you guys through this a lot lately. I'm really... If I was back in Navadvip, with my normal schedule, then I wouldn't. But today, it's just been really intense here. But I think the most difficult part of the book, moving the books, is over pretty much. So, actually, there's going to be two more days, but it's mostly all over. So, all right. So we'll do kirtan and end for today. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Sachinandan, Jaya Gaura Hari, Sachinandan, Jaya Gaura Hari, Jaya Sachinandan, Gaura Hari. Jai, Shri Sachinandan Gaur Hari Ki Jai. Oops, I forgot to stop sharing. Jai Shri Sachinandan Gaur Hari Jai, Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai, Shri Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan Ju Ki Jai, Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashata Rashata Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Srila Gurudev Ki Jai, Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashata Rashata Shishimar Srila Bhakti Vedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. That's backwards. Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashata Rashata Shishimar Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashata Rashata Shishimar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashata Rashata Shishimar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nityalila Pravishta Maha-bhāgavata Srila Gaurkisharas Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Nityalila Pravishta Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Nityalila Pravishta Vaishnav Sarva Maharaj Ki Jai. Śrī Rupa Nugakoriya Guru Varga Ki Jai. Śrī Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Śrī Jeev Gopal Bhatta Dasa Raghunath Shara Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Śrī Sarup Damodar Raya Ramanandari Śrī Gaur Parshad Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Śrila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Kshetra Mandala Gaura Mandala Vraja Mandala Mathura Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Sarva Abhishta Pradata Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Radha Kunda Shama Kund Ki Jai. Shri Yamuna Devi Ganga Devi Ki Jai. Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Jai. Shri Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Shri Purnamasi Yogamaya Ki Jai. Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Radha Gopinath Ju Ki Jai. Shri Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai. Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Das Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Viśvarūpa Ki Jai. Shri Jagannātha Miśra Shachi Devi Ki Jai. Shri Nimāi Vishvambar Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Nimāi Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavashaja. Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Satyavatai Namo Namaha Pancha Kalpatarubhyashta. Kripa Sindhubhyai Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat pranams everybody. Here's Darshan of Radha Gopinath. And of Gopal. Gopal. Hari Bol. Alright, Hare Krishna everybody. Let me just check the comments really quick. The internet, the connection's been pretty good today though, huh? The Wi-Fi seems to be working. Last time I tried it, it was cutting out, I think. Indira Mataji, yes. Haribol. No, I took melatonin last night. It was actually your melatonin that you gave, I think, to Vajanti Mala. Alright, Dandavat pranams everybody. Thank you so much for joining. Alright, Dandavat pranams everybody. Hare Krishna. See you all tomorrow to read about Nimai's being mischievous because he's upset that he is taken out of school, and then this conversation between Nimāi and Shachimata. Right, Haribol. Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranams Nri Hari Prabhu and Yashoda Didi, and who else is there? Indira Mataji, Kishore Prabhu, Raseshwari Mataji, Ganga Mataji, Karuna Didi, and everybody else. Dandavat pranams. Hare Krishna.